I think when we pitch to our potential distributors, we look at some areas that have been a success story for us. We've had some fantastic stories in Southeast Asia and Australia, whereby customers, for example, we take Australia, we do a big range of bath time toys. At one point they turned around to us and said, we don't have baths in Australia, we shower, your product won't work. It ends up then being one of the biggest suppliers of bath time products now around the world.
With new distributors and new customers, they want to know who your existing customer base is. And if it's Rolls-Royce, if it's people like that, it makes them sit up. And then they'll say to you, well, how long has that company, that blue chip company been with you? Well, actually, 25 years. So that gives you credibility immediately.
You know, when there's nothing better when you go and see a distributor or potential distributor and you sit in front of them and you say, well, actually, we are #1 brand in our market. And they would say, really?
These are the kind of buttons I try to push when I'm talking to distributors, that, you know, you have to protect your image, your reputation, and, you know, we can help you do that with the quality of the brands and products that we produce.
Some countries are very strong on made in UK or designed in the UK, for example, so they love that as a concept, and they ask us if they can create their own labelling, you know, based around this information.
I think what really needs to be considered by the supplier in order to make this relationship working is to understand our market and bring to us a business case which makes sense to the supplier and obviously makes sense to us.
Actually, I've never looked at the financing of the company. I've more looked at the capabilities of the people and what they can do. And if they've been around for a number of years, you know, I mean, they supply me or my customer or the customer I'm representing for them, and the customer will pay them after they've been supplied. A lot of the experience, and not just from me, from other people I've heard as well, is delivery times. If you promise something, you need to make it happen. If you don't, you know, everybody can make a mistake once, but if it's a big mistake, then that's the end of the relationship. If you really have a good relationship with these people, because you've already known them or worked with them, they might give you a second chance, but if you mess it up again the second chance, that's the end of it. I mean, out, finished.
One thing that a distributor loves in our line of work is continuity of new lines, new products coming out, something exciting, something fresh. And so obviously it's a main area of our presentation is we're going to be developing 25, 30 new products next year.
Well, in general, the worst thing a potential supplier can do is basically not implementing their international growth strategy internally. In other words, I have some suppliers where their top management or board of directors, they had a clear idea, clear strategy. They wanted to focus on the international markets, and it was basically growth potential #1 for them. However, their mid-management and other employees, they didn't understand that strategy. Therefore, the communication from the board towards other employees wasn't the best.
It's important that the company that wants to export or wants to go into a new market is already very clear on their strategy at home. Yeah, that they have a solid plan. What are my strong points? Who are my target customers? How do they look like? Yeah? Because then it's relatively easy for us to take that profile and copy it in our market.
If a supplier could take a bit of risk together with a partner in the beginning, then I am 100% sure that they would be much more successful in the field of international expansion.